I don't think anyone can deny that if they're in a relationship, the goal, the desire is to have a fulfilling relationship, a fruitful relationship. And whether it's a heterosexual couple, whether it's a homosexual couple, whether it's a gender non-defined, all these other options.
Something that we don't understand. Well, whatever.
It doesn't matter. There always needs to be some degree of polarity to maintain the heights of passion, because to the point that you were getting at, this 50-50 implicit kind of ubiquitous assimilation to like, oh, you need to downplay your masculine traits. You know, it's like, and this has stemmed, everybody's situation is different, but if a woman has had to take care of herself, if she is an executive in a business, all these different things are going to heighten her ratio of masculine energy, right? And there are times where it's good step into that masculine energy, but in the context of intimacy with a partner, a decision has to be made. If the woman or the person who carries more of that feminine energy is not fully in that and they want to lean more to that masculine, well, there can only be so much masculine energy in that environment. And so the male, we're going to assume, right? I'm just going to use heterosexual examples, goddammit. So, see, I'm doing the ubiquitous simulation. I'm making everybody feel welcome and shit. Goddammit, we talking about heterosexual relationships. Apply it to your situation. So the male is going to be crowded out by the woman's masculine energy. And so naturally, all that's left for him is the residual of his own masculine energy and what is left of the feminine that she does not want to carry, and vice versa. But to your point, the relationships require a degree of trust, because even if a woman is C-level CEO of the biggest company on planet Earth, if she does not feel comfortable, just for lack of a better term, not retreating, but to allow herself to be open, allow herself to be vulnerable as that feminine energy and the ravishing, and let that masculine step in, there's gonna be a conflict in that interaction, and the male needs to feel comfortable knowing that you feel safe and you feel okay, allowing him to steer that relation, that interaction sexually and intimately, because I think that's where you get people who are only worried about themselves. Because for years, man, even before I started having penetrative sex, my worry was, damn, what if I don't get her off? That literally was my focus. Was like, okay, I know I'll be able to come. That's not gonna be a problem, right? Like, thankfully, you know what I'm saying? That's not a problem for me, right? So the focus then became, what do I need to do to get her to that destination? And so it became, for me, I became most aroused by arousing the partner, by getting them there. And that I recognized, and I didn't realize that wasn't how every other dude was thinking.
Most people out here like, what?
I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I come from an athletic background, you know, and in football, on the defense, you try to stop them from scoring. On the offense, you got to put points on the board. And so in my mind, the game of sex and intimacy, the way you got points on the board was the number of times she felt pleasure, she felt ecstasy, she came. So if I'm not doing that, I'm not scoring points. And I'm a nigga out here trying to win, because I lost a lot of games of football. You feel me? So if people aren't going into it with that focus and dedication, and in my opinion, sure, you know, a woman should be down to please her man, but to me, the responsibility on that whole interaction, really playing out where both people leave satisfied, is in the hands of the ravisher. Because in my experience, right, you set the pace, and that pace will be met, right, if you're dealing with somebody who is comfortable in her own feminine energy. Right? So if you come in and you kick things off with that kind of cat and mouse chase, you get a little bit of the foreplay in the game. These are all things that stoke that fire, right? But ultimately, somebody has to lead. Somebody has to set tempo, right? You can't have two people trying to steer the ship, or you might just be fighting the wheel and stay dead center, not going anywhere. So understand that it's cool to be in those roles. And it still means that everybody can maintain their sovereignty and their power and all of these things. You know, you don't have to resign as the CEO, and, you know, you can still do the dishes, my guy. But understand there are certain moments in time where
there has to be a concession somewhere.
Somewhere.
I mean, and it can be a it can be spoken communication, unspoken communication. It can be body language. It can be a lot of things. But something will come to pass where somebody's got to give for that to be a heightened experience. Yeah. If it's all no, I'm in charge. No, I'm in charge. No, I'm running this. No, I'm running
then
this.
That's tension.
And it's a lot. I mean, that tension will build to conflict, and that conflict will probably piss everybody off.
And literally, physiologically, I meant very literally, there is a tension. And for all of y'all who are, if you're listening, I'm assuming you are of, consensual sexual age. Tension is not very good for sexual interaction, right? You can only go so deep with there being tension. So I think in summation, people need to understand if they felt any type of lukewarmness in their sexual interactions, in their relationships, do things that can stoke those natural properties in both of you, right? So beauty is typically a feminine trait, you know what I mean? But strength, the humor, right? That's a more masculine trait, but playfulness is something that can be shared by both parties. And so each individual relationship, if you're listening to this and you feel like there is some of that sexual neutrality in your relationship and you think you'd be better served, both participants in the relationship would be best served with reestablishing some of that polarity to heighten the passion, find things that work for y'all together and individually to help reestablish that balance within self. Something really simple for men, if you don't work out, that will do a lot, even just from physiologically raising your testosterone levels, right? Conflict is good. Jest is good, Competition is what I meant, not necessarily conflict. Competition can do a lot for that, But on the other side of it, as far as, the feminine energy, do things that make you feel beautiful. Do things that can make you feel graceful. You know what I mean? Do things that can make you feel admired. There's a reason that women, even women who don't really wear makeup day to day, there's always going to be some occasion where they want to put on their best, put makeup on because they know that there's a radiance that it can be heightened by taking these steps, and feeling desired is something that is a natural feminine trait. It attracts the attention of men. And so what do men have to do to go try to win in that competition of that attention for this woman? You have to compete with the other men, right? So there's a lot of different things that one can do to cultivate that energy. But one of the things that can absolutely kill that is an addiction to unhealthy things like pornography, addiction to unrealistic standards, to trying to hold your partner to something that they're not comfortable with. So the communication has to be A1. Talk to your partner. If you're not comfortable expressing your likes, your dislikes, your wants, how do you expect this person to ever satisfy that? How do you expect to ever grow deeper and deeper in that intimacy if you're not even comfortable having the conversation about, what you want to see happen in the bedroom or outside of it for that matter?